Who did Adam blame for his own sin? And then who did Eve blame for her own sin? I'm Bridget Stair, and we're going to ask that today on the Rooted 5. Welcome to week 3, day 3 of the Rooted 5. Today we will be in Genesis 3, verses 8 through 13. And yes, I know we read verse 8 yesterday, but we're going to repeat that verse today because of our deeper dive. But first, let's say our memory verse. It is Genesis 3:15. And I will cause hostility between you and the woman, between your offspring. I keep forgetting that. Between your offspring and her offspring. He will strike your head and you will strike his heel. Again, that is Genesis 3:15. And I will cause hostility between you and the woman, between your offspring and her offspring. He will strike your head and you will strike his heel. And we will discuss why that verse is so important a little bit later. But today for day 3, we will be starting in Genesis 3, verse 8. And they heard the sound of the Lord God walking in the garden in the cool of the day. And the man and his wife hid themselves from the presence of the Lord God, among the trees of the garden. Verse 9. But the Lord God called to the man and said to him, "Where are you?" Verse 10. And he said, "I heard the sound of you in the garden, and I was afraid because I was naked, and I hid myself." So for my very first question, what word did Adam use to describe how he felt that he had probably never used before? In verse 11, this is God speaking. He said, "Who told you that you were naked? Have you eaten of the tree of which I commanded you not to eat?" Verse 12, the man said, "The woman who you gave to be with me, she gave me the fruit of the tree and I ate it." Question 2, did Adam confess that he had eaten of the tree? Yes or no, and why do you think? So yes, he did confess, or no, he didn't. What do you think? This could be an opinion, basically. Question 3, who did Adam ultimately blame for his own sin of eating the fruit and disobeying God? In verse 13, then the Lord God said to the woman, "What is this that you have done?" The woman said, "The serpent deceived me and I ate it." So question 4, who did Eve blame for her own sin of eating of the fruit? And question 5, do we still blame others today for our own sin? Why or why not? So do you think that is something is that a way that we respond even today, thousands of years later? Is this how we tend to respond when we get caught in our sin? And for my deeper dive today, it's more of an activity. I know the last few days have been kind of heavy with the fall of man and kind of digging into that. So I thought today it would be neat to focus on that verse of it saying that they heard the Lord God walking in the garden in the cool of the day. So commentaries, if you look up some commentaries, we don't know for sure, but it is believed that this would have been the pre-incarnate Jesus walking in the garden, because obviously, this is something that seemed normal, commonplace. We don't know how much time has necessarily passed since he created the man and woman and put them in the garden. It could have been that same day. It could have been 100 years later. We just don't know, right? The timeline. So more than likely, because God created man and woman in his image, he had a relationship with them and enjoyed walking with them in the garden. And so it'd be a cool activity to walk with your kids and maybe discuss what you read today or talk about how important it is to have a relationship with God. So this is a beautiful picture of God, or pre-incarnate Jesus, walking with the man and woman. That means he obviously had a relationship with him. He was looking for them. He was like, "Where are you guys?" So he was probably used to them running out to him and being excited to see him and walking with him. And when it says cool of the day, commentators also believe that this means later afternoon or early evening. And now that it is kind of the end of August and creeping into September, we're starting to get those cooler nights, and how fun it is to take a walk as a family in the cool of the afternoon or early evening and just talk about your day and fellowship together, and maybe discuss how important it is to have that fellowship with the Lord as well, and how Adam and Eve's sin affected that relationship and that fellowship. Another deeper dive activity that you could do is to look up the song, the hymn in the garden. So the verse of that song, or the chorus of that song, is he walks with me and he talks with me and he tells me I am his own. And the joy we share as we tarry there, no other has ever known. One of my favorite hymns. So that might be kind of fun to look that up. It does talk about being in the garden with the Lord, because really that is the first evidence that we see of God having a relationship with Adam and Eve, is him walking in the garden in the cool of the day. So I hope you enjoyed day 3, and I will see you tomorrow for day 4. What were their consequences?